We're speaking today with Enrique Aguilar, author of the new book, The Gospel of Mark, a Theological Reading, available from Paulist Press.
Good morning, Donna. Thank you so much for having me here at Paulist Press.
What is this book about?
This book is about the Gospel of Mark, the first Gospel to have been written. The first line of the Gospel presents the main idea of the book. Jesus is the Son of God. However, the meaning of the words Son of God was not clear 2,000 years ago. For the Romans, Caesar was the Son of God. For the Jews, the Son of God was understood in different ways, as designating the people of Israel, as referring to a righteous person, as describing an angel, or as a designation of the King or Messiah. My point is that Mark affirmed that Jesus is the Son of God in the Christian sense. Jesus is God in a unique and transcendent way. While we as Christians are accustomed to this idea, we have to think that 2,000 years ago it was not so easy. The people in Rome would immediately object to this idea since Jesus died on a cross under the power of Caesar. So the answer of Mark would be, one could see the divinity of Jesus through his teaching and deeds accomplished with authority. But mostly, to believe in Jesus as the Son of God is a gift. Only through the light of the Spirit we can come to confess, together with the centurion, at the cross, truly this man is the Son of God.
Can you tell us more about the idea of Jesus as the Son of God?
The Gospel of Mark is about the identity of Jesus and how we can acknowledge his identity. In fact, the question about who Jesus is runs through the entire Gospel. For example, right after the narrative of Jesus calming the sea, the disciples ask, "Who then is this that even the wind and the sea obey him?" And at the middle of the Gospel, we find the question made by Jesus near Caesarea of Philippi. Who do people say that I am? A question that is repeated to the disciples. Who do you say that I am? At that point, Peter answered, "You are the Messiah." But the full recognition of Jesus as the Son of God takes place at the end of the Gospel, when the Roman centurion says, "Truly this man was the Son of God." Now, one of the main ideas that I present in this book is that a major point of Mark's narrative is the death of Jesus at the cross, when we are told that Jesus breathed his last. I propose that we should see here an allusion to the gift of the Spirit, fulfilling what had been announced at the beginning of the Gospel by John the Baptist. He will baptize you with the Holy Spirit. If we accept that Jesus delivers the Spirit at the cross, one understands the immediate reaction of the centurion saying, "Truly this man was the Son of God." Hence, for Mark, the confession about Jesus being the Son of God is due to the gift of the Spirit. Indeed, Paul wrote the same idea to the Corinthians. No one can say Jesus is Lord except by the Holy Spirit.
There are so many books about the Gospel of Mark. How does yours differ?
The difference is in its theological approach. Against the common idea that Mark simply tells us about the facts of Jesus, in this book I argue that Mark communicates important theological ideas by means of a simple story. Mark is not interested only in informing us about Jesus. He also wants to tell us why he believes in Jesus. In fact, in chapter 2 of the book, I indicate a number of literary features in the Gospel of Mark that suggest how Mark intends to provide a deeper meaning. One example is the use of intercalation of narratives, where one story seems to be interrupted by another story. In the story of Jairus, one of the leaders of the synagogue, Jesus is asked to heal his daughter. But then a woman suffering from a hemorrhage comes in. And after this woman is healed, the story of Jairus resumes, leading to the raising of the daughter of Jairus. This interconnection of the stories suggests that each story gives light to the other. In the story of Jairus, Jesus decides to come to the house of Jairus and takes the hand of the child. But in the story of the woman with a hemorrhage, she is the one that comes and touches Jesus. The linking of the two stories shows that while salvation has its source in Jesus' action, it also requires human participation.
How might people use this book for their spiritual growth or as part of a Lenten program or a parish Bible study group?
The Gospel of Mark is centered on the question of who is Jesus. This book seeks to help readers to answer this question, and therefore it will be of great benefit for those interested in their spiritual growth. The acknowledgement of who Jesus is, who is Jesus for me, is indeed the foundation of our Christian life. The book is also suitable for a Lenten program. Since this year, we are reading the Gospel of Mark in the liturgy. With this book, readers will be able to understand better the main ideas that this Gospel offers to us as a spiritual nourishment for our life. Last, the summaries in each chapter facilitate the use of the book for study Bible groups. With the help of an instructor, people who wish to study the Gospel of Mark will find a useful tool for their learning.
Thank you, Enrique. We've been speaking with Enrique Aguilar about his new book, The Gospel of Mark, a Theological Reading, available from Paulist Press.
Thank you so much, Dana.